multicellular organisms. They are capable of photosynthesizing. Again, they are having the capacity to be present in everywhere. That means in the water, on the ground. So they are present everywhere. You can consider. They are having different types. Like they are considered to be non-differentiated. They are considered to be differentiated. They are considered to be shrubs, herbs. They are considered to be trees. So the diversity in the form of habitat, the diversity in the form of size and shape, that is a tremendous one in case of kingdom Plantae. Then we have discussed about vascularization. Then we have discussed about what type of cells the plant they exhibit, the cell wall occurrence, the presence of chloroplast, the vacuole is present. So these are the peculiar features of a plant cell. The plants they contain a typical type of organization. So depending upon that, that is the vascularization, plants they are categorized into two categories. That is vascularized plants and non-vascularized plants. This is nothing but the organizational hierarchy which you can see in case of plants. So this is the gradual evolution which arises or which arose the vascularization inside. Okay, so this vascularization to study, initially we have to consider the term histology, that is histos, and logos, that is study of tissue. Then what is tissue then? Tissues, they are the group of cells working together to perform a certain function. Plants, again, they are categorized as non-vascular and vascular plants. And what exactly is the vascularization? It is the capacity of that plant or being or this plant, it contains or it has the presence of tissues that are capable of moving water and therefore nutrients throughout the plant. So from roots, the water it is been taken up to the leaves, and from leaves the food that is taken up to every part of the plant. So that is the important thing. Why this vascularization is necessary? If you are consider a tree which is tall 100 meters like a redwood tree, then it is very hard for the roots to throw the water or to make the water up to the top part of that plant. And that's why it is necessary that there must be some system with which the plant may transport the material up and down. So this is the vascularization system. If you need to consider vascularization, there are three different type of tissues basically which are present. Along with the vascular tissue, there are other two tissues like ground tissues and dermal tissues. They are also present in plants. So at random, we will be discussing all three type of tissues which are present in multicellular eukaryotic organisms which are capable of photosynthesizing, that is the plants. So in this diagram, you will be able to see the ground plants, vascular plants, and dermal plants. These are the three categories of tissues which are present in the plants. Okay. So again, they are subdivided as the ground tissue. It is being considered to be sclerenchyma, collenchyma. Vascular tissues, they are considered to be xylem and phloem. Whereas dermal tissues, they are considered to be the epidermal, dermal, and stomatal trichomatous type of cells. So we will study
Ma'am,
all type of cells one by one.
ma'am,
Yes, Sakshi. Just a
ma'am,
minute. Just
physically,
a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Is it not visible to you?
no, ma'am.
Okay. Now, is it visible to you? We are just starting the things from our previous lecture.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
whatever the thing we are taking the revision. So, from this only we are starting the actual discussion about the different type of tissues which are present in the plant. Okay. So, there are three important tissues, that is dermal tissue, vascular tissue, and ground tissue. So if you consider dermal tissue, it is the outermost layer. Vascular tissue, it is the conducting tissue or it is a transport tissue. Whereas the ground tissue, it is the bulk of inner layer. So these are the three type of tissues which you can consider. So all these three type of tissues, they are present in everywhere, in every plant organ, that is root, stems, leaves, etc. And depending upon the amount of tissue which is present, the organs, they are differentiated, or they depending upon the function of that organ, these three different type of tissues, they are distributed differently in that plant organ. So if you can see this diagram, in every part of plant, how the three different type of tissues they are present, that is seen in a very nice format. So if you consider the stem, Then the three colors which are being shown over here, like dark green is for dermal tissue, light green is for ground tissue, and violet color, purple color, it is for vascular tissue. So if you consider root, then the vascular tissue, it is present in the comparatively large amount than that of the other two sections. Whereas the ground tissue, it is also been found in a higher amount. Dermal tissue, that is also present, but the presentation of all the three type of tissues in each and every part of plant, that is found to be different. Whereas in case of leaves, the venations, they are being found over there. The venation again, it depends on type of plant. That means it is a parallel venation or it is a reticular venation. So again, that type is important, and depending upon that, the vascular tissue, it is organized in the leaf plane. Then in case of stem, so depending upon the place of the stem, exactly from where you are taking the TS, the stem, it gives the distribution of these three, that is the dermal, ground, and vascular tissues. Okay. Now about the dermal tissue, this is the first type of tissue which we need to consider. So the diagrams, it clearly indicates what exactly is the dermal tissue. So dermal tissue is the outermost layer, as all of us know, and amongst those, that dermal tissue, epidermis is the outermost layer of cells. So it is like the skin of animals, what we possess on our outer section of our body. In stems and leaves, epidermis has cuticle, a waxy layer that prevents loss of water. Whereas this cuticle is absent in case of roots, because root has to deal with water. So if a waxy layer is there, then the absorption of water may get hindered. And that's why the layer, it is not there in case of the root dermal tissue. Some have trichomes or hairs. So it is visible over here. Is it clearly visible to all of you? This is the hairy structure which you consider as the epidermal tissue, that is the root hairs. Even you can consider trichomes or hairs for water and nutrient absorption. So this is the way how the epidermis, it is being considered. So what does this epidermis do? There are certain functions of this epidermis. It covers the outer or the outside of a plant. It provides protection in a variety of ways. It can be a chemical protection, it can be a thermal protection, it can be a mechanical protection. That means if any injury is there, then also these stiff tissue, they protect the inner side of that plant, and that is the way how they protect. Then covers flowers, fruits, seeds, secretes a waxy substance called cuticle as waterproofing, and may produce special structures such as hair. So these are the different ways how the epidermis, it is important in case of plants. Why the epidermis is present? These are the reasons. Next is the periderm. So periderm, it replaces epidermis on roots and stems of woody plant with age. So this is the way how the epidermis, it is being replaced. Okay. So it is composed mainly of thick waterproof cork cells. So these cork cells which are being considered, they are the most matured cell. They may be the living or dead cell as well. And the function of these peridermal cells, that is also the protection. That means they protect the stems and roots. So these are the variable forms of epidermis, like stomata, trichomes, hairs, etc. Okay. Then next is the ground tissue. It make up the bulk of plant organs, and functions is metabolism, storage, and support. So in case of stem, root, and leaf, everywhere this ground tissue, it is also observed. Now there are different type of ground tissues you will be considering, like parenchyma, collenchyma, etc. So we will discuss all of them one by one. So the very first is parenchyma. Parenchyma, these are the thin walled cells. They are alive at maturity, and they are alive, so they are showing the activities, metabolic activities inside them. Many functions they perform, including photosynthesis, then starch storage, hormone production, etc. So this is the way parenchymal cells are important. So these are different presentation of parenchymal cells from different plant sections. Second is collenchyma. What is collenchyma? It is the flexible support tissue which is considered as collenchyma. These are the elongated cells. See the presentation of these elongated cells with irregular shapes and unevenly thickened walls. They are also live at their maturity. So this is the collenchyma. These are the different collenchymal cells which you can see over there. Third is the sclerenchyma, it is the support tissue you can consider. So it is the elongated cells with thick cell walls. Being a support tissue, they need to be have the thick cell wall. So whatever the sclerenchyma cells they are thick, they are having thick cell wall. And the difference amongst all three is that sclerenchymatous cells, they are dead at maturity, and they form long fibers or smaller scleroids, and such as stone cells in pairs. So that is the way how it looks alike. Okay, so these cells, sclerenchyma cells, they are dead at maturity, but they give the support to the complete tissue. So again, these are the different ways you will be able to see the sclerenchymatous cells. They are also present like fibers or scleroids. So these are the different ways how you can summarize the ground tissue. Like parenchymatous cells, they look different than that of the collenchymatous and sclerenchymatous cell. Whereas in case of sclerenchyma, you will be able to see the thick cell walls. Okay, and the presentation, it is been completely different than that of the two cells. This is the cell which is dead at maturity, whereas all the two cells, parenchyma and collenchyma, they are leaving one at the maturity. So the difference, phenotypic difference, that of the cell wall, that is clearly visible in this slide. These are the two first. The first one is the dermal. Second one is the uh, the second one is the ground tissue. Third one is the vascular tissue. Vascular tissue has got function to transport water and organic materials. So sugars, whatever the food material which is prepared, the hormones, the electrolytes, all the things, they are being transported to and fro in the complete plant. Okay, so the xylem, it transports water, whereas phloem, it transports the food or mainly the sugars which are present. So xylem, the transport, it is upward, whereas phloem, the transport, it is downward, as well as the lateral type of, that means horizontal type of transport, it is being seen in case of vascular tissue. So xylem tissue, it moves water. These are the long tube-like cells. See, they are being visible in this typical type of diagram. They are tube-like long cells. They are joined end to end, that transport water and minerals from the soil to leaves. Soil means soil, in soil the water is there, roots, they take up the water, and then through the xylem they transport it to the leaves. Two type of cells, xylem cells you can consider, they are tracheids and vessel elements. So in flowering plants and in conifers, the presence that is being in a differentiated forms, but no doubt tracheids as well as vessel elements, both of them, they are the xylem cells. The only difference is that there are the tracheids, they are present in conifers, whereas the vessel elements, they are present in flowering plants. Xylem being a transporter for water, it also transports the dissolved minerals. And what are tracheids then? They are the long tube-like structures without perforations at the ends. Whereas vessel elements, they are the short wide tubes which are perforated at the ends. So this is the difference in between the tracheids and vessel elements. But both of them, they are the examples, or they are the types of xylem. So the ultimate function of both of them, that is nothing but the transport of water. And for that purpose, they are having the pits, that is the thin sections on the wall. So that help the complete transport process. So they are dead, they are hollow cells and consist only of cell wall. So whatever is present inside, that is the water which is transported from downside to the upside. Next vascular tissue is phloem. Okay, so this next phloem, that is the second vascular tissue you consider, that moves the sap which is sugar dissolved in water. So that is the food which is produced by the photosynthesis process in the leaves. So from leaves, this sugar, it has been transported to everywhere inside the plant structure. So they are long tube-like cells because they have the function of transporting. They also join end to end. That means the one cell where it ends, the end of other cell, it is exactly attached to that, so that the material, it may be transferred from one cell to other cell easily, and transport the complete material to the typical structures, that is also considered as